In 1 Kings chapter 8, the temple in Jerusalem is finally ready for its most important moment. After years of preparation and construction under King Solomon, the sacred building is complete. Now the Ark of the Covenant, the symbol of God's presence with Israel, must be brought into the temple. Solomon gathers the elders of Israel, the leaders of the tribes, and the heads of the families of the people. They assemble in Jerusalem during the month of Ethanim, a time when the nation often gathered for important festivals. The entire event becomes a great moment for the people of Israel. The priests and Levites carry the Ark of the Covenant from the city of David toward the temple. Along with the Ark, they also bring the tent of meeting and sacred items used in Israel's earlier worship. As the Ark is moved, King Solomon and the gathered people of Israel offer sacrifices before the Lord. Sheep and cattle are presented in such large numbers that they cannot even be counted. The procession is filled with reverence, marking a new chapter in Israel's worship. The priests then carry the Ark into the most holy place, the inner sanctuary of the temple. It is placed beneath the wings of the great cherubim that Solomon had made. Their wings stretch across the sanctuary, covering the Ark. Inside the Ark are the 2 stone tablets that Moses placed there at Mount Horeb, containing the covenant God made with Israel when he brought them out of Egypt. When the priests come out of the sanctuary, something extraordinary happens. A cloud fills the temple of the Lord, and the priests cannot continue their service. Because the glory of the Lord fills the house, God's presence has come to dwell in the temple. Solomon stands before the altar of the Lord in front of the whole assembly of Israel. He lifts his hands toward heaven and begins a prayer of dedication. Solomon praises God for keeping the promise made to David his father, that David's son would build a house for the Lord's name. In his prayer, Solomon asks that God will hear the prayers of the people whenever they turn toward this temple. If someone sins and seeks forgiveness, if Israel suffers defeat in battle, if drought comes upon the land, or if famine or disease strikes, Solomon asks that God will hear their prayers and show mercy. He even prays for foreigners who come from distant lands because they have heard of the Lord's great name. If they pray toward this temple, Solomon asks that God will hear them as well, so that all nations may come to know the Lord. Solomon also prays for the people if they are ever taken captive because of their sins. If they turn back to God with all their hearts and pray toward the land and the temple, Solomon asks that God will forgive them and restore them. When the prayer is finished, Solomon blesses the people of Israel and praises the Lord for giving them peace, just as he had promised. He encourages the people to remain faithful and to walk in the ways of the Lord. The dedication of the temple becomes a great celebration. Solomon offers 22,000 cattle and 120,000 sheep as sacrifices. Because the bronze altar cannot hold all the offerings, part of the temple courtyard is set apart for the sacrifices. People from across the land gather for the celebration, from Lebo Hamath in the north to the Brook of Egypt in the south. The festival lasts 14 days, filled with worship and joy before the Lord. When the celebration ends, Solomon sends the people back to their homes. They return joyful and thankful for all the goodness the Lord has shown to David, to Solomon, and to the nation of Israel. The temple now stands as the spiritual center of Israel, a place where the people can seek God and remember the covenant he made with them. Next comes 1 Kings chapter 9, where the Lord appears to Solomon again and warns him that the future of Israel depends on remaining faithful to God's covenant.